Unioto Zane Trace, one of the most heated rivalries in the Southeast District. I'd say it's probably the most heated in the Scioto Valley Conference. You look back to the last 10 years, it's an even 5-5 split. It's leaned a little bit towards Unioto for the most part recently. I think Unioto's won 5 of the last 7. Now Zane Trace has won 2 of the last 3. So it's about as even split as you can get for a rivalry game. It'll be the Kingston National Bank game of the week, so not only live stream coverage, article, photos, interviews, all kinds of stuff coming after the game with the work of Derek Webb, and I'm not sure if he'll be taking photos, but if not him, somebody will for sure be there.
I think he does the photos of all of them.
Last 2 teams undefeated in the SVC, both sitting at 4-0. Unioto a little more successful out of the conference. They sit at 6-1. Zane Trace 4-3. For Unioto, sophomore quarterback Isaac Coy on the year, 1,649 yards, 19 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. Now, it's not a large interception total for Coy. 3 of those picks came against Amanda. 2 were last week against Adina. So it seems like for Coy, the interceptions come in spurts. So it's like, he's had 3 games with interceptions, and only in one of those games he threw 1.
Yeah.
Right. The other ones he threw 3 and 2. So that's kind of the dangerous thing is turnovers, right? They can derail a game. Now, fortunately, they were still able to get the lopsided win. I think it was 35-0 over Adina, so no harm there. But those 3 interceptions against Amanda, ultimately why you end up losing to the Aces in week 2. So for Zane Trace defensively, I think turnovers a big thing.
Well, and then the way Adina played them defensively is similar to how Zane Trace played Piketon in their game, where they did a lot of stuff to try to eliminate different things. But one of the big things last week for Unioto against Adina was Levi Beam really came alive in the slot. He had over 100 yards receiving and 1 long touchdown, and then was tackled just short on another one. So it seems like him and Cody Braden have kind of flipped their positioning, and I think it's making them a little better team offensively. So big thing for Unioto, the deep ball. You've got Blake Hoops, who's a really good possession receiver, averages just over 10 yards a reception. He's their all-time leader in touchdowns, all-time leader in receptions. He's close on receiving yards as well. So, but then you've got Caden Cutright, who 19 catches, 5 touchdowns on those 19 catches, 26.5 yards per reception, has a touchdown catch of over 90 yards this year. Jackson Zickafus has a nearly 80-yard reception.
Had a kick return last week.
Had a 98-yard kickoff return last week as well. Cody Braden has really been the bell cow the last couple weeks, 333 yards, 7 touchdowns on the ground. He also has 307 yards receiving. He's got 4 touchdowns. He's got 11 touchdowns on the season. He's been, with him being healthy, he got hurt before week 10 last year. He kept getting hurt in baseball. He's one of the better athletes in the Scioto Valley Conference, and it looks like he's finally getting a chance to really show it this year. Yusef Wilson does a really good job running the ball as well. So, for Unioto, the line is huge because Bryce Jarvis, Ben Griffin, Marcel James play both ways. Lana Caruth, who was a K&B athlete of the game or player of the game for the Jackson or the Waverly game. There's another guy that goes 2 ways. I think Donzel Newland is the other lineman. So, but the way Jarvis, James, and Griffin play, they're going to have to be huge on the defensive side of the ball because of how well Zane Trace runs the ball. Silas Stewart, Bryce Johnson are monsters. They combined 17 touchdowns between the 2 of them. Johnson's been a little banged up, but at the same time, he's been really good when he's been able to play. Stewart, 538 yards rushing. Johnson, 431 yards. Gunnar McCullough does a good job on the ground as well. They're a team that you've got 3 really good options. And then you go in the air and you got Aiden Dunn. 31 catches, 428 yards. Only a couple touchdowns, but he has 2 punt returns, 1 in each of the last 2 weeks for touchdowns. So you can't really kick to him because he's so dynamic. He's also got an interception return for a touchdown.
It was week 1, I think, against Logan Allen.
So, they're it's a good team. They're getting better throughout the season. just, when you don't have a quarterback for the first 3 weeks of the season, makes things really difficult.
Especially when you play the likes of Logan Elm
And Waverly.
And North Union, a respectable opponent as well.
Yeah.
Obviously for Unioto up to this point in the season, and for high school team stats, this is a little swayed to the negative side with sacks counting as rushes. But Unioto, and this isn't a terrible number maybe for like college or maybe even NFL, but only 4.1 yards per carry. I feel like in high school that is not great at all. I think high school running backs are usually... just go look at like Mason Parker's average yards or
right.
Like Anthony Bishop's yards per touch.
Or Braylon Robertson
right.
for Paint Valley.
Those dudes, I remember, we can go back to Unioto a few years ago going into the Week 8 Zane Trace game. I think Matt Griffin was averaging like 10.5 yards per carry. So it just hasn't been a great year on the ground. Now, Cody Braden, as you said, has been efficient in the touches he's had. 63 carries for 333 yards and 7 touchdowns has really been the do-it-all guy for Unioto with 21 receptions as well. He has 11 total touchdowns on the offensive side of the ball. And, you mentioned Yusef Wilson as well. And, obviously they lose Ty Woods at the beginning of the year, which shook up things in the backfield for them. But, injuries aren't an excuse. And Zane Trace can tell you that personally.
Yes.
As we said, they were without Gunnar McCullough for a handful of games to begin the year. Sorry, I was just reading some Deshaun Watson news. And
good guy.
And Bryce Johnson missed, I don't know who they played week 4, but it was that first SVC game. He didn't play, right? And he was just getting his first game back against a Piketon team that just picked up a big win over Paint Valley in week 7. So injuries have been going all around, and Zane Trace able to come out. They have a winning record going into this game in week 8, sitting at 4-3. I think the key, like I said, the key for Zane Trace is going to be, can you force Isaac Coy to make a mistake and turn the ball over? And with a defensive back like Aiden Dunn on the other side of the football, I think the chances are likely is Dunn, like you said, I think you said 1 pick 6 on the year, but I'm assuming he has a few more interceptions as well.
Yeah, he had a big return once. Jaden Higgins does a good job for them in the defensive backfield. Cohen Larson's another one, but I think it's going to really the Browers. Evan and I believe it's Bryce who leads the SVC in sacks. If they can get some pressure on Coy, he does a good job on passing on the move, but making it to where he's uncomfortable is something that is a must. Now, Unioto much better in the pass blocking than they are in the run blocking. But last year, I've been just trying to find it. But last year it's because Max Preps is. Last year they ran for 5.4 yards per carry. Now 4.1 this year. So they're getting.
The run game wasn't out of this world last season either, but it was still about 1.5 yards better per carry.
So they were averaging just under 250 yards passing a game last year, which I believe they are like 236 this year. So a little bit below that as well. So offensively, not as dynamic as last year, maybe better defensively though. So it's this should be a fun one. I'm excited to get out there and watch. I think we're going to be on top. It's going to be a little chilly.
That's all right. We got, or at least I have a Sosa jacket. You need to get one. I think
I've got like weird amounts of Sosa like pullovers and stuff that I don't exactly know where they are. So it looks like it's going to be clear though. And that's the big thing.
ZT was a monsoon.
Yeah.
But, both of these teams, these two programs represent the last 2 gold balls in the SVC with Zane Trace winning it in 2022, Unioto in 2023. As we said, 5-5 the last 10 meetings. Unioto's won 5 of the last 7, while CT has won 2 of the last 3. The interesting thing about the Scioto Valley Conference is that a gold ball has been awarded to the league champion 9 years in a row. So essentially, whoever's finished first in the SVC has gone a perfect 7-0 for 9 consecutive seasons. In that time span, ZT has 3. Now, this time span, I think, began in 2015. So ZT won it in 15 and 16 and then had a bit of a drought. They got it back in 2022. Southeastern has 2. They won 2 in 3 seasons in 2017 and 2019. And then Unioto, Piketon, Adena, and Paint Valley all have 1 in that span. So Huntington and Westfall, the only 2 teams to not win a gold ball in that span. And also, a unique team has won a gold ball for the last 6 seasons, which I think is that's pretty wild to think about, because you had Paint Valley in 2018, Southeastern in 19, Adena in 20, and I don't want to hear anybody say anything about Adena like, well, you didn't play. I think they didn't play Huntington or something that year, but it still counts because I think they would have beat. They were so
good because like they went and played they
won a couple playoff games.
They beat a couple teams from the MAC. The MAC's the best conference in Ohio. Well, smaller school conference in Ohio, and they beat a couple of them in the playoffs. So I mean, yeah, they were good.
And then you had Piketon in 2021, Zane Trace in 2022, and Unioto in 2023. So 6 different teams have won a gold ball in the last 6 seasons. Obviously, the only hope to keep that going this year would have been Westfall and Huntington. They've both lost in the league. So while that record is out the window, or while that streak is out the window, the chance for a team to win a gold ball for the 10th season in a row is still on the table, which I think that's pretty wild. Yeah, I don't think a lot of conferences around here have that kind of streak going.
But this is also one of the first years where it's really going to come down to the last 3 weeks, because at least the next 2 weeks, and then like if Unioto wins both in it, it's over. But so we've got kind of league championship games the next 2 weeks, so should be pretty fun.
Potentially the next 3.
Could be the next 3.
Shake out. Planning on going down to Bainbridge week 10 for ZT Paint Valley. Last year that was a second place game. I mean, who knows? ZT could beat Unioto, and then Unioto could beat Paint Valley,
and then Paint Valley could beat Zane Trace.
And then it'd be a 2-way tie at the top between.
Unless Paint Valley would beat Zane Trace, and then
that is true. Then it would be a
Can I tell you the
3-way tie?
Can I tell you the saddest stat of all time?
Sure.
It's since Lane Ruby retired from high school football, aka
2019.
Aka graduated. They went 7-0. 2019.
Yep. Guessing Paint Valley is the only team they lost to in 18.
They lost 2, because I think they might have lost
They didn't lose to us.
Yeah. That was a good game. I think they had like a interception at the end, which, shocker, was Lane.
It also went through one of our receivers' hands.
Was it you?
No, but it should have been. Well, I should have been playing.
Yeah.
so I should have. They also had like a 100-yard fumble return off of my boy Aiden Leffler.
Yeah. So since then, guess how many? So they won 2 gold ball, 2 gold games, 2 gold balls with Lane Ruby. Since he graduated, they've won 1 SVC game.
Oh, 1 Well, they've won 3 games though, right?
4.
Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah,
they won a game this year, right?
Yeah, they won a game.
Beat East.
Right? Pounded East.
There you go.
Yeah. So I mean, and I like listening to their coach on the scoreboard show. He sounds like it just sounds like they're just really down talent wise. But I know they got a couple of good players, especially
all-time leading
receiver and Gage Cheadle. Yeah, and so it's hopefully they can get that thing turned around fairly quickly. But yeah, it's a tough situation. But yeah, that's a pretty sad stat.
All right, well, Unioto Zane Trace, Kingston National Bank Game of the Week, meeting between the last 2 undefeated teams in the Scioto Valley Conference.
Should be a good one.
Should be a good one. Another beautiful Friday night for high school football here in Southern Ohio as we welcome you in to Zane Trace High School as the Pioneers are set to host the Unioto Shermans in a Week 8 clash here in the Scioto Valley Conference. Alongside John Bruce, my name is Dewey Daly as we welcome you into tonight's coverage. And John, I'll keep it simple. The last 2 undefeated teams within conference play in the SVC, sole possession of first place, up for grabs here tonight.
First off, you said beautiful night. You couldn't have said that any better. This is just a fantastic view that we have tonight. You mentioned it. Both teams undefeated in league play, kind of starting this round-robin championship action that we have over the last 3 weeks that you can find here on Southern Ohio Sports Authority, where we've got Unioto Zane Trace this week, Unioto Paint Valley next week, and then week 10 is Zane Trace and Paint Valley. All 3 of those games have a chance to have SVC championship implications on them, starting with tonight as we got a big one here in Kinnickinnick.
And for Zane Trace, a shaky start to the season, goes 0-3 in the non-conference, an extremely tough non-conference schedule for the Pioneers. But since week 4, since week 4, John, undefeated in conference play, 4 wins for them. And you could kind of say the same for Unioto. Also a shaky start. You drop in week 2 to Amanda Clear Creek. You get the big win on the road in Tigertown against Waverly. They're also undefeated, 4 consecutive wins, 5 including the Waverly win.
Yeah, it was a big bounce back for Unioto after that Amanda Clear Creek loss, which, you know, we didn't know what to expect in week 3. So it was just kind of you didn't know what to expect, and then they came out, looked really good. So maybe that was just a, kind of an outlier for them, that Amanda Clear Creek game. But still, that's something you got to look at, because Amanda Clear Creek ran the ball very well, close to 400 yards on the ground that night. And that's something that Zane Trace does extremely well, as they've got a 3-headed monster in their backfield. Obviously, you hear a lot about Silas Stewart and Bryce Johnson, but also Gunnar McCullough does a great job of leading and getting those guys in the right spots. And if they can, they get the ball out to Aiden Dunn, and that dude, he can make some big-time plays on the outside. He's had a punt return for a touchdown each of the last 2 weeks, so that makes this Zane Trace offense, well, it's not as spread-oriented as Unioto is. It's just as dynamic.
And, John, you mentioned Gunnar McCullough has not been healthy the entire season. We saw a little bit of junior quarterback Grady Stewart for 4 games in between. Obviously, McCullough goes down early in the Week 1 match against Logan Elm. McCullough back now. He's healthy now. It seems like the Zane Trace team is starting to get back to full strength.
Yeah, and even without McCullough in week 1, they played a really good Logan Elm team to a one-possession game, and that was when they were just not able to throw the ball at all until late in the game, whenever they went with Grady Stewart in that. So it ended up being a pretty interesting matchup there. Week 2 was just kind of, week 2 was just one of those games that it just happens. Where they went down to Waverly, got off to a bad start, and then it seemed like they really picked things up after the first couple of weeks of action. Week 3, you never know when you go on the road, especially when you go to North Union. But since they got in SVC play, they have really woken up, and they've been really good this last 4 weeks, including an impressive 23-20 win a couple weeks ago over Piketon that we had here on Southern Ohio Sports Authority.
And for Unioto, we can stick to the quarterback conversation. You graduate Newton Hoops a season ago. That position is up for grabs in the offseason, and it ends up being sophomore Isaac Coy. He's been impressive to start the year.
Yeah, Coy's been really good. Now, week 2, he had 4 turnovers in the game, so that's something to look for overall. But besides that, he's had 3 total turnovers in the other 6 games, so he's been really good. It was just, that's just one of those outliers when you have a sophomore who in the preseason didn't really play at all. So he came out, week 1 had a big week, week 2 took a step back, but since then he's just been making steps forward ever since then.
And for the Shermans, an injury to Ty Woods early in the season. Without a running back, and Cody Braden has emerged as sort of that Debo Samuel-like role. Does it on the ground, also does it through the air, as he's among the leaders in the Shermans on receptions and receiving yards as well.
Yeah, they tried a bunch of different players and different looks, but it seems like last week and the week before they really figured something out where they moved Levi Beam, kind of switched Levi Beam and Cody Braden. So Beam is playing kind of that, that slot receiver that Cody Braden was playing, and Braden's playing more of that halfback role that Beam was playing, and Braden a little bigger, both with really good speed, but Braden over the last 2 weeks has been really good. Had 200 yards of total offense in that rain-soaked win in week 6 at Piketon.
A big week last week for Levi Beam. Has 9 catches for 141 and a touchdown on the season. 5 and 118 and a touchdown of those came last week.
Yeah, last week he really showed what he can do and did it in a big way as he kind of exploded for them in that win over Adena. So one thing to look for, to start that game, a 98-yard kickoff return for a touchdown for Jackson Zickafoos. And, Judah Hanks for Zane Trace has a big leg, so we'll see what they do here kicking-wise, as Unioto's got 2 dynamic return men. But do they look to pop it up and maybe make Unioto play from about the 20 to 30, or do they take the risk of a possible big play here?
So the Pioneers winning the toss, electing to defer.
And I will say, about 2 weeks ago, the area where they're kicking would have been very tough to receive in, but the sun just went down a couple minutes ago, and now it's just a beautiful night instead of the sun coming straight down over the hills into the returner's eyes.
It'll be the senior Judah Hanks to get us going here tonight.
Yeah, very good kicker, really good goalie. Also, that's a big key. If you can get the two sport guys out, the soccer players, to do your kicking as well, it can really help your team in a big way.
Hanks gives the signal, and we are underway here in Week 6. Shermans and Pioneers, it'll be Zickafoos from inside his own 10-yard line. Zickafoos up the left hash and brought down just outside the 30-yard line.
Yeah, about a 20-yard return, or 22-yard return there for Zickafoos. Nice job by Jaden Higgins to make the tackle. And I think he may have had a chance to go up the right side, but they're actually going to put him down at the 34. So it's actually ends up being about a 25-yard return for Zickafoos, putting Unioto in a pretty good position here at their own 34.
So it'll be 1st and 10 for the Shermans from their own 34-yard line. First play from scrimmage, a screen pass to the near side. It's Cody Braden out past the 40.
Yeah, they're going to try to get the ball to Braden in as many different ways as possible. He does a good job running the ball, but that's also a nice and easy pitch and catch. Get your offense moving forward quickly. Nice job there by the Shermans to pick up 8.
Last week for Cody Braden, 18 for 84 and 3 touchdowns on the ground. Also added 11 yards with 1 catch through the air. 2nd and 2 for Unioto. Handoff right up the gut, out past midfield.
And that's something that can really open things up, because if you have to look at that as any threat at all, last week we saw that with Portsmouth, where it was a lot of Chase Highland, and then they went with Nick Copley, the fullback, while using the H-back for Unioto. Does a good job picking up 8 there. Gets out to midfield in only 2 plays.
Four seconds on the pin. This is Cody Braden inside the Pioneer 40-yard line. Another new set of downs for Unioto.
Yeah, one of the big things that Zane Trace did to slow down the Piketon offense is they went a little zone. Looked like they still went with the zone there. But if you can find that receiver out of the backfield, you can pick up some big yardage there, and Unioto moving the ball really well so far.
So 1st and 10 for the Shermans, an empty backfield for Isaac Coy. Fires to the near side. This is Blake Hoops up the right hash, and Hoops lost the football. Looks like the senior was able to get back on top of it. And for Hoops, that is a team-high 40th reception on the year.
Yeah, he takes the big hit. Now, one thing with Blake Hoops, he's a big, strong player, but he tries to make a lot of extra moves. So there, he cuts it back, and if you can make a big hit on him, maybe something good can happen. But that loose ball goes, once again, big, strong player, just is able to rip the ball free to save the possession.
So the Coy to Hoops connection moves the chains once again for Unioto. 1st and 10 from the Pioneer 29. Handoff, Cody Braden bounces it to the outside. Braden now out to the left hash. Cody Braden inside the 5 and brought down just shy of the goal line. A big-time run for the junior.
Yeah, really good blocking on the outside. Good job by Caden Cartwright to not hold on the outside. Picks up 25.
Goal to go for the Shermans. David Long and Cody Braden in the backfield. It'll be Coy, QB keeper to the left side. He's in. Touchdown, Shermans.
Perfect drive there for Unioto as they go right down the field. 2 minutes and 13 seconds off the clock. 6 plays, and they move it right down. Now, if you look at that Blake Hoops fumble 2 years ago out here, they lose 35-31. Their first 2 possessions, they turned it over on fumbles and then scored on every possession the rest of the game. But by then, they were behind the 8 ball.
Liam for the Shermans as Matthew is now 25 of 28 on PATs this season. We'll take a quick break. You're watching Ohio High School football on Southern Ohio Sports Authority, presented by Ohio Health.
Hey, Hey, Mike Glockner here from the Glockner family of dealerships. Want to talk to you about our express service that we offer at every Glockner location. Did you know that you don't need an appointment if you need a routine service done to your vehicle? All you have to do is show up. No appointment necessary. Stop by and let us serve you at any Glockner location today.
Richard. Countless nights in the garage. 8 shiny new pistons. 1 very happy 16-year-old granddaughter. And 2 years since starting cancer treatment at Ohio Health.
We welcome you back to Zane Trace High School, a 2-yard rushing touchdown for Isaac Coy. Just the second rushing touchdown on the season for the sophomore. The PAT from Matthew was no good. We currently sit at a 6-0 Unioto advantage.
Yeah, that was one of the first balls Matthews missed on a clean kick this year.
So Matthew boots it away. It'll be Mason Hartley from inside his own 5-yard line. Mason Hartley right up the middle. Hartley off to the races. Mason Hartley out to his own 45.
Big return there by Mason Hartley. And really, for Unioto, that was part of the design, was to kick away from Aiden Dunn, and Mason Hartley is still able to get a couple blocks and is able to cut that up. Great field position for the Pioneers after the 41-yard kickoff return there by the sophomore Hartley.
So it'll be 1st and 10 for the Pioneers from their own 46-yard line. McCullough out of the pistol. He loses the football as Marcel James strips it away, and just like that, the Shermans take back over as Bryce Jarvis recovers the fumble.
Huge play there for Unioto. It looked like the snap wasn't very good, and then Marcel James just gets there in a hurry. Absolutely huge play for Unioto.
The Shermans offense right back on the field. First and 10 for Unioto from the ZT 37-yard line. Braden motions out to the right side. Coy over the middle, and it's picked off. Aiden Dunn going the other way. The 3rd interception for the senior this season, and he returns it out past the 40-yard line.
Yeah, just pretty easy pitch and catch there for Aiden Dunn. Gets it out to pretty much the exact same spot where they were. For Unioto, trying to take a shot downfield, but with that zone coverage, you can't just assume that things are going to be open, and that's where, a sophomore quarterback maybe doesn't see that play downfield like he would here in a couple years. Nice play for Dunn.
So the Pioneer offense right back on the field. Out of the pistol, McCullough hands it off to Silas Stewart. Out to the numbers. Silas Stewart with a new set of downs. Inside the Sherman 35.
About 27-yard gain there for Silas Stewart. Yeah, Unioto had all the momentum there, and then Zane Trace grabs it right back with a big play by the senior Dunn, and then a great run there by Silas Stewart.
Coming into tonight, Silas Stewart leading the Pioneers in rushing yards on the season with 538. Also adding 42 yards on 7 receptions. McCullough right back to the ground. It'll be Silas Stewart, his second. Judas Sikafus.
Pick up anything, because it looked like it was taken away by Bryce Jarvis on the outside, but Stewart able to bounce to the outside, pick up 2. Valuable play on first down.
So that'll make it 2nd down and 8. So in the immediate area, although it seems McCullough out of the tackle box.
And must have got it past the line of scrimmage. I think it was close, but
Throw it away.
yeah, smart play there by the junior.
It's a 3rd and 8 for the Pioneers. Out of the pistol, McCullough. A bad snap, McCullough on top of it. Out past the Unioto 40-yard line, and that'll bring up 4th and long for the Pioneers.
Yeah, it's 2 shaky snaps so far for 2 really big losses, and I think it may be time for a punt now because I mean, with where you're at on the field, you probably don't want to give Unioto the ball right here at the 42 with 4th and 20.
So as of now, the Pioneers leaving the offense out on the field.
Kind of surprised that Dunn is one-on-one on the outside. I know Caden Cartwright's really special, but
3 receivers set. It'll be a pooch punt from McCullough. Nobody back as Aiden Dunn downs the football inside the Sherman 5-yard line.
yeah, very good punt there by McCullough. Good job by Dunn getting down and into coverage. And then really with how they're set up, you can't really defend that because there's the possibility that that's going to be a pass downfield. You might give up the first down. So long way to go for Unioto, but good job on that first play for Zane Trace. Now, one thing that I looked at, just looking at the stats, one of the big issues for Zane Trace this year has been turnovers, especially in fumbles. So a lot of it could be in the snaps there as we had 2 wild snaps so far through their first 5 plays.
So 1st and 10 for the Shermans. Coy will take the shotgun snap. It'll be Cody Braden between the tackles and not a lot of running room for the junior. Although keeping the legs churning, Cody Braden out past the 5-yard line. Looks like he'll come up just shy of the 10.
And I'm going to give pretty much everyone credit on that play because that could have lost control. And Cody Braden not getting that ball ripped away ends up being a 7-yard pickup as Zane Trace, I'm sure, was 2 now at the 9.
2nd and 3 for the Shermans.
2nd and 3 now for Unioto. Appears it could be an encroachment on the right defensive end, Blake Brower.
Yeah, Blake Brower leads the SVC with 8 sacks on the year. Probably just trying to get a little bit of a head start because he's been a menace all season for the Pioneers. And really, if that's a pickup of 1 on the previous play, like that's a big penalty. But being out the 9, not as big of a penalty as I.
1st and 10, Coy to the left side. Pass is caught. Out to the numbers. And just shy of the 30-yard line. First catch tonight for Jackson Zickafoos.
Yeah, going to be a pickup of 15. Zickafoos with a little bit of shake there is able to get to the outside. Ultimately picks up 15 after making his first man miss. Yeah, and for Unioto, you just got to look at, take what they give you. You don't need to take those big shots downfield if they're not there, which that one wasn't there. So you hit the man on the outside, let him make some plays.
So another new set of downs for the Shermans. Hand off and out to the right hash.
Brayton on the carry.
Brought down around the 33.
Yeah, just picking up a little bit of positive yardage each play for Unioto. It's just what they did on that first possession before you hit the big play for Cody Braden on the 25-yard run.
2nd down and about 6.
For Zane Trace, they got to do something to try to get Unioto behind the sticks on 1st or 2nd down and make it to where maybe you can make another play with your zone defense there like you did the last possession.
4 yards picked up by Cody Braden. Coy, a screen pass to Braden out to the left side, and he's brought down in the backfield for a loss. It's Cohen Larson in on the stop for the Pioneers.
Yeah, and that's the type of play I'm talking about. That's a 2-yard loss. So now Unioto's going to have a tougher time picking up this 3rd and 7. Nice play by Cohen Larson because if Braden makes him miss, then, a big play is a possibility. But instead now it's 3rd and 8 after the 3-yard loss.
So a 3-yard tackle for loss for the senior Cohen Larson. So 1st and 10 for the Pioneers from their own 41-yard line. Out of the pistol, it'll be a handoff. Silas Stewart up the right hash, out past the 45.
Yeah, it's going to be a nice.
Play clock was running down, and Dylan Wares wanted to avoid the 5-yard penalty.
Yeah, pretty smart timeout there by Coach. Got 3rd and 4 coming up. 3 minutes left. It's the big play because I think with, on this side of the 50, if you don't pick up anything, it's more likely a punt situation, but you have a lot better chance at 3rd and 4 than you do at 3rd and 9. So that's a good use of the timeout.
On the Shermans, and what would have been a 3rd down and back to their own 45-yard line.
Ball start against the offense, 5-yard penalty. Make it 1st and 15.
First and 15 for the Pioneers, a handoff. Between the tackles, it's Bryce Johnson. Continuing to run all the way down to the Sherman 30-yard line.
That's going to be about a pickup of 15. And that was another high snap, which they're able to control a little bit. And then Johnson runs through and then just fights for the last 4 yards. Unioto looked like they were waiting for the whistle to blow to stop the play, but Johnson keeps his legs moving. Very similar to what Cody Braden did on the play from the 2-yard line earlier.
So 1st and 10 for Zane Trace from the plus 30-yard line. Out of the gun, it'll be Gunnar McCullough. Play action, he'll keep it himself. Out to the right hash, Gunnar McCullough just about a yard shy of the 20-yard line. 2nd and short coming up for the Pioneers.
Yeah, good job by McCullough. He does a good job pulling. Gets a nice read, is able to pick up 8 on the play after he'd had a couple big losses because of the fumbles. But right there does a good job. Now they're in really good position because we saw in week 5 they hit about a 33-yard, 37-yard field goal to end the first half in that one. So this could be you may be in field goal range already, or at least close to it as you're at the 22. So I would say within 40, you're probably in at least decent range for Hanks.
Officially a pickup of 2 yards from McCullough. Now it's back to the sophomore tailback Bryce Johnson, who's met at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, with a host of tanks. Again, Johnson not able to pick up much there. I think they're going to give him about a yard.
Need of a yard. 3rd down and 1 for the Pioneers.
So less than a minute to go here in the opening quarter. This Week 8 matchup between the Zane Trace Pioneers and the Unioto Shermans. 3rd down, 1 yard to go for Zane Trace. Bryce Johnson in the backfield. He'll take the snap from McCullough. Has the 1st down and more. Bryce Johnson up to the 15.
Yeah, pick up a 6 there. Only needed 1. He's able to pick 6. Once again, high snap, so it takes a little longer to get going on the play. But Johnson, just a really good downhill runner there, picks up 6.
1st and 10 for the Pioneers.
But a 9-second difference between the game and play clock, so it'll take one more play for us to get to the 2nd quarter here in Week 8. First and 10, McCullough hands it off. It's Bryce Johnson between the tackles as he's met at the line of scrimmage and will pick up about a yard.
Stewart on the carry. Long and Jarvis on the tackle. Gain of about a yard. Does make it 2nd and 9. And that'll end the
So it'll be
first
2nd
quarter.
and 9 when we're back from break. 1 quarter through tonight's matchup between the last 2 undefeated teams in the Scioto Valley Conference. We'll step aside. You're watching Ohio High School football on Southern Ohio Sports Authority, presented by Ohio.
Glo Fiber is now in Ohio. And with gig speed fiber internet, we're keeping things real. As in real reliable speeds. Real people who really want to talk to you. Not to mention, real simple pricing. Switch to Glow Fiber today to get real fast, real reliable fiber internet and your first month free. Glow Fiber is here. Welcome to Glowhio. Call 1-833-WANT-GLOW or visit glowfiber.com to switch today.
Kimberly. Tons of practice. One chop away from a black belt. 7 of the best sidekicks. And 5 years since her cancer diagnosis at Ohio Health.
We welcome you back to Zane Trace High School. John Bruce alongside Dewey Daly bringing you tonight's coverage of tonight's Week 8 matchup between the Zane Trace Pioneers and the Unioto Shermans. Unioto drawing first blood, now Zane Trace threatening as we begin the second quarter of play here tonight.
Yeah, a lot of what we expected in that first quarter. A lot of Zane Trace runs, a lot of Unioto through the air. The one turnover by each team has really been a killer so far.
Johnson, check that, Stewart in the backfield. It'll be McCullough on the keeper. Between the tackles, a minimal gain for Gunnar McCullough on 2nd and 9.
Yeah, now you got 3rd and 7. Once again, as we mentioned in the previous quarter, I think you're probably in field goal range right now, but with how quickly Unioto scored on that first possession, I know they've had 2 possessions since then, but I think you'll take field goals if you get them, but I don't think you want to settle. So right now it's a 29-yarder, which we've seen that Hanks can definitely hit, but you're also, if you pick up 4 or 5 here, you're definitely in a pretty decent range to try to pick up the 4th.
So a 3rd down, 7 yards to go for the Pioneers. A 3-receiver set with the senior Peyton Dotson tight to the right side of the line. It'll be Gunnar McCullough on the keeper, and he's dropped about a yard or 2 past the line of scrimmage. It should be a 3rd and 6 coming up for the Pioneers.
It's going to be 4th and 5.
Check that, a 4th and 5.
Yeah, now they're going to bring out the kicker, Hanks. It's going to be straight on.
Marcel Jones on that last stop.
Marcel James with the tackle.
It looks like.
But a lot of it also, you have McCullough slipping on the cutback. I would like to see them at some point give it to Aiden Dunn on that jet sweep.
On the season, Judah Hanks 1 for 2, connecting on a 33-yarder. This one from 28, Judah Hanks is unable to knock it through and moves to 1 for 3 on the season. So the Pioneers remain scoreless with 10:21 to go in the first half.
Yeah, and to me, that looked similar to how Liam Matthew missed his, as well as the man coming around the outside on the kicker's side kind of made them push it a little bit to the right. Matthew hit it off the upright where Haynes just pushed it a little bit right, as I believe it was Aiden Dunn the first time almost got there on the extra point, where Caden Cartwright nearly got there for Unioto.
So the Shermans will take over 1st and 10 on their own 11-yard line. Check that, their own 19-yard line.
Yeah, it's going to be pushed because the kick was inside the 20.
1st and 10, the Shermans back to the ground with Cody Braden out to the numbers and past the 25-yard line.
Yeah, Braden's done a really nice job on the ground so far. That's 42 yards on 4 carries for him. He's also got 3 catches for 18 yards. So, I mean, a lot of time, and it's working out when he's got the ball for the Shermans. Besides that really big play by Cohen Larson that really ended the last drive for the Shermans.
So a pickup of 6 for Cody Braden on 1st down. 2nd and 4 coming up for Unioto. It'll be an empty backfield for Isaac Coy. Braden in orbit motion. Will be a jet sweep to Jackson Zickafush to the far sideline as Zickafush looks to be about a yard shy of the line to gain. Extremely close.
I think they're going to end up giving it to him.
They're going to go ahead and move the chains.
That spot was quite a bit different than what I expected on that, but I like, the idea there for Unioto, because that's a toss forward, which we saw last week doesn't always get called incomplete if it's dropped, but if you drop it, you drop it.
It also goes for the passing stats for Coy as well.
Yeah, but you get one of your dynamic, and it's only pick up a 4, but still, you pick up the first.
1st and 10 now for the Shermans. Long and Braden in the backfield. It'll be Braden. On the handoff up the right hash, a pickup of about 3.
Yeah, and so far this year, Unioto last year ran for nearly 200 yards a game. This year they're running for about 130. So while they were more dynamic offensively last year, they also were better running the ball. While they were like a little better passing, but pretty similar. But that is, the last 2 weeks with Cody Braden's been a big difference, big improvement there in the running game for them.
2nd and 7 for Unioto. Back to Braden, out to the far sideline. Cody Braden has the line to gain and more out past the 40.
Yeah, pick up a 9 there for Cody Braden. And the big thing, the Unioto line hasn't done a great job of blocking for the run. And they hadn't really had to, but it looks like they're making good adjustments. They look like they're more comfortable going a little bit behind that right side with Ben Griffin, Aiden Perry, a couple of seniors, doing a good job blocking to the outside for Braden so far.
1st and 10 for the Shermans from their own 42. Long and Braden in the backfield once again. It'll be play action as Coy rolls out to his left. Over the middle, pass is caught by Blake Hoops inside the Pioneer 45.
You're going to see a hold on the outside, though, as Coy was rolling to his left. I believe you're going to get a hold on the left side on Unioto. Likely taking away a pretty big gain. Yeah,
the penalty would negate about a 15 or 20-yard pickup.
Yeah, it ends up, I think that was Blake Brower on the outside. The man with 8 sacks, leads the SVC in sacks, did a good job of nearly getting around. It was either him or Bryce Johnson, who hasn't played a whole lot of defensive ends so far this year. Really did a good job of getting pressure on and just kind of forcing the penalty there on the Shermans.
So the penalty negates the completion and pushes the Shermans behind the sticks, making it 1st down and 20. Shermans, however, right back to the ground with Cody Braden, who's dropped about a yard past the line of scrimmage. Pickup of 1 yard for Braden.
Yeah, and that's the second penalty on Unioto. That's the second pretty big one so far, because the first one negated would have made it a 3rd and long. They ultimately get a hold on it, but that one takes away a big 1st down, and now you're 2nd and 19, way behind the sticks.
Just a 2-receiver set with Blake Hoops and Caden Cutright for the Shermans. It'll be Cody Braden to the far sideline as Braden pushes it up to his own 35. Pickup of 2 yards.
Almost looks like Unioto is kind of just positioning themselves to play for the punt here. Maybe you try to go downfield, but that was a little tighter formation than what they've been running. Jackson Zickafoose will be coming back onto the field here. We haven't seen Levi Beam yet. Maybe that's a later adjustment that they'll make, because it's been a lot of David Long in the backfield for the Shermans. We're going to get a timeout, Unioto.
First timeout of the half for Matt Hoops and the Unioto Shermans. Comes with 7:07 left here in the second quarter. If you're just now tuning in, an opening drive score for the Shermans as Isaac Coy punched it in from 2 yards out for just his 2nd rushing touchdown of the year.
Yeah, it was a 2-minute, 13-second drive for Unioto. They moved the ball right down the field. The next play from scrimmage, Zane Trace fumbles the snap, and Unioto recovers, but Aiden Dunn, which probably was the play of the game right now for Zane Trace, is able to make an interception, bring the ball back, and it's been pretty even since then. But it looked like with about 9 minutes left in the first quarter that Unioto had a chance to really start to, but because of a big-time defensive play, it ends up making it to where now we're in a bit of a dogfight.
It's now 3rd down, 17 yards to go. John, you mentioned Levi Beam now in the left slot for Unioto. Big week last week for the sophomore. And he'll be brought down just outside the 45-yard line. Combination of Hudson Williams and Cohen Larson in on the stop for the Pioneers.
Yeah, ends up being a pickup of 11.
Larson and Williams on the stop.
I think you're going to see a punt anyway from David Long, but that gives Unioto a lot more leeway, especially if you're kind of just punting out of bounds here to try to make it to where Aiden Dunn can't make a big play. The last punt was a 29-yarder, 28-yarder, went straight.
So David Long back to punt for the Shermans, sending it away from his own 35.
But really,
Dunn will let it roll out of bounds inside the Pioneer 20-yard line.
Zane Trace will get it 1st and 10.
I don't like that because that was a catchable ball. Like, that was 10 yards to his right. Go get that ball. I think he expected it to go out of bounds, but instead, after the roll, it goes out of bounds.
And John, so far here in the first half for Unioto, it's been the bend, don't break defense. So for Zane Trace, it's key. You just got to finish a drive and get in the painted area.
Yeah, they lost a fumble on their first possession. Their second possession really got ended by a big loss on a fumble. They punted on the next play. So you got to just keep your drives going in a positive way if you're Zane Trace here.
Looks to be Bryce Johnson on the first down carry for the Pioneers. Check that, it'll be Silas Stewart. The 2 and 3 looking extremely similar from on top of the press box.
I'm glad you said that because in week 5 I had it wrong the entire. Like, I had to go back and rewatch our broadcast to see like which number was which as I was doing my stats after the game. And they're both big, strong dudes that run really hard. So it's not like they're even dissimilar in the style that they run.
Pickup of 5 for Stewart on first down. McCullough to throw, looking over the middle, wide open downfield. It's the senior tight end, Peyton Dotson. Dotson off to the races inside the Sherman 20-yard line. Just the 3rd catch of the year for Peyton Dotson as he flips the field for the Pioneers.
58 yards on the play. They go with a little play action. We kind of talked about it in the pregame before we even came on, that Dotson was a guy they were looking for deep on some of their drives. Our Kenneth Hay kind of called that in the pregame as well, as, you know, Dotson, one of the fastest players. Nice job there by Jackson Zickerfus to not quit on the play.
For Peyton Dotson on the year now, 3 receptions for a $104.
Take that average.
1st and 10 for the Pioneers inside the Sherman 20. It'll be Aiden Dunn on the jet sweep to the left side as he's met by Bryce Jarvis.
Honest, like, defensive ends shouldn't be able to do that. Like, that's such an athletic play by Bryce Jarvis to be able to stay with Dunn to make it to where he doesn't get around the edge there. Ends up being no gain on the play. And that's the 3rd time they did it. That's the first time they've actually handed it to Dunn, and I'm glad they did because that's something that I would like to see them do. If he can cut that upfield, that's going to be a big-time play. But nice play by the junior defensive lineman for the Shermans.
5 wide for the Pioneers on 2nd and 10, an empty backfield for Gunnar McCullough. McCullough bringing it to the near side. It'll be a wide receiver screen for Aiden Dunn, who cuts it up the right hash and inside the Sherman 10-yard line. New set of downs for the Pioneers, now goal to go.
Dude, I can't read where we're at on the field at all. They had it wrong on the scoreboard, so I was very confused on that. Nice play design there to get Dunn the ball. Was able to bring it back, you know, against the grain. Ends up picking up 11 on the play for the first
7-yard line. McCullough fakes the handoff and will take it himself to the left side as he's brought down in the backfield by the junior Bryce Jarvis. Another TFL for the junior.
Yeah, he does such a good job on the outside. He's 2nd in the SVC in sacks, but is up there in tackles for loss, though, if that was an official stat for the league. But he's done an outstanding job for them and does a nice job there, really putting them behind the sticks here. It's still, you know, 2nd and goal from the 10, but a touchdown here for the Pioneers would be huge.
Inside, Silas Stewart into the end zone. Touchdown, Pioneers.
And that's a bad, I'm going to be honest, and it might be, you know, like, that's a bad missed hold on the outside. As Stewart goes to the cutback, Caden Cutright just hooked from the back. But a nice cutback for Stewart. Ends up being a 10-yard pickup.
Missing from about 27 earlier on in the half will look to give the Pioneers their first lead of the night. McCullough has the hold down as Hanks sends it through the uprights. And it's a 7-6 Pioneer lead as Hanks is now 15 of 18 from the PAT this season. We'll take a quick break. You're watching Ohio High School football on Southern Ohio Sports Authority, presented by Ohio.
Glo Fiber is now in Ohio. And with gig speed fiber internet, we're keeping things real. As in real reliable speeds. Real people who really want to talk to you. Not to mention, real simple pricing. Switch to Glo Fiber today to get real fast, real reliable fiber internet month free. Glo Fiber is here. Welcome to Glo Ohio. Call 1-833-WANT-GLO or visit glofiber.com to switch today.
Kimberly. Tons of practice. One chop away from a black belt. 7 of the best sidekicks. And 5 years since her cancer diagnosis at Ohio Health.
We welcome you back to Zane Trace High School as the Pioneers with their first lead of the night off the legs of a 10-yard rushing score for Silas Stewart, his 9th of the year.
Yeah, an outstanding cut to the outside by Silas Stewart. Was able to get an extra little help on the outside on the block and cuts to the right. And then
Hanks boots it away. It'll be Jack Weingartner on the return from the near sideline as Weingartner takes it back to the middle of the field and will be brought down just shy of the 30-yard line.
Yeah, about a 5-yard return. Good kickoff there. Just where Jackson Zickafoos had the big kickoff return last week and a big one to set up their first possession. Just don't kick it back to him anymore. And Caden Cartwright's dynamic as well. So for the Shermans here, you got 316. You have a decent field goal kicker. If you can get it in range, you feel good there. But you got to try to do something to get the ball out to these receivers. Caden Cartwright has one touch. It was a rush. Blake Hoops has one catch, or 2, but one was called back for a pretty obvious hold.
For Silas Stewart, he is now tied for the team high in rushing touchdowns with Bryce Johnson.
I believe they're going to give him 9 on this. He's up to 66 now.
Caught by Zickafoos. Brought down immediately by Aiden Dunn. Nonetheless, a first down grab for the junior.
Yeah, nice job elevating there, get the grab, and then kind of take the hit and just secure the ball because they had a drop on an earlier possession on a 3rd down on a big hit from Aiden Dunn. Nearly happens again there, but good job by the junior Zickafoos in securing that one. Both teams with 2 timeouts left.
So news. Coy. Play action looking over the middle of the field. Pass is incomplete. Intended for Caden Cutright. Aiden Dunn along with Silas Stewart in coverage for the Pioneers.
Broken up by Aiden Dunn. Bring up 2nd and 10.
Yeah, 2:26 left here in the half. You want to pick up something nice here if you're the Shermans. The big thing for Unioto is, the play that burnt you 2 years ago here was a play action pass to a tight end that doesn't really catch the ball often, and it happened on that last possession as Dotson with the 58-yard catch that really set up that touchdown score. Could burn the Shermans again here tonight.
After the incompletion, a 2nd and 10 for Unioto. Coy drops back to pass, firing to the right side, and it's picked off. Guess who? It's Aiden Dunn once again on the interception for the Pioneers as he trots out of bounds just outside the plus 40-yard line. 2nd interception tonight for Dunn, his 4th on the year.
If you're Isaac Coy here, you got to compete for that ball. Aiden Dunn's the one who competed for that ball as 2 Unioto receivers pulled off of it. Aiden Dunn just goes through and makes the play, ends up getting it back. Now Zane Trace in really good field position with a chance to score here before the half, and they're going to get the ball to start the second half.
And John, one thing we talked about on this past week's episode of Sosa Overtime was just in the first half against Zane Trace.
Mm-hmm.
So the Pioneers take over 1st and 10 from the 41-yard line. It'll be Bryce Johnson with the first down carry out past the 35-yard line.
It's going to be a pickup of 7 for Johnson. going back to that, your point was, that's, you're trying to throw the ball downfield. You're trusting your receivers to go make a play, and the first one was an underthrow. That one,
second down, 3 yards to go. Another handoff to Bryce Johnson as he shimmies and shakes back to the line of scrimmage. So no gain on the carry for the sophomore. 3rd down and 3 coming up for the Pioneers.
Yeah, the only plays they've really, it's been the high snaps a couple times, and Bryce Jarvis are getting there in a hurry. 7 yards now for Bryce Johnson on 5 carries. And really, I know Hanks missed a field goal earlier, but you're in field goal range. Had 2 passes. One was a screen, one was play action. So you haven't really looked downfield much if you're Zane Trace. So it wouldn't surprise me if they're just trying to position themselves to try to get another field goal set up.
And John, while we have a moment, we'll mention the apparent internet issues here.
Things can kind of work themselves out.
So it'll be 1st and 10 for the Pioneers from the Unioto 27-yard line. Just 1 timeout remaining for Zane Trace. Side McCullough, he looks to throw over the middle, nearly completed to Peyton Dotson. In coverage is Jack Weingartner on the big-time deflection for the Shermans to keep Dotson out of the end zone.
I don't know if that was Weingartner or David Long got a hand on that. Somebody got a hand on it or not. That's 6, because it was a pretty well-thrown ball. It was David Long was able to get back in coverage and get a hand up. On the previous pass to Dotson, he elevated.
Stops the clock, 55 seconds. Once again, a 4-receiver set with 3 to the far side for the Pioneers. Aiden Dunn singled up near side, one-on-one with Caden Cutright. Pioneers back to the ground with Silas Stewart nowhere to go for the senior, as he's brought down by the junior lineman Luke Howard.
Yeah, good job there by Luke Howard. He's a kid, he's a rotational guy, comes in and makes a big play there. Now Union has to make sure that Aiden Dunn doesn't get past you here, as they're going to try to look. I would say you're going to look for the end zone here if you're Zane Trace.
Now an empty backfield as Stewart moves into the right slot. McCullough over the middle, passes off the hands of Dotson and picked off. Judah Zikafus with the takeaway.
Yeah, not a lot of time left for Unioto. I wouldn't be. That one was going to be maybe a little over it, but now you don't even have that opportunity. You can run out the clock, reconvene if you're Unioto. You've each scored 1 possession, so that's a big turnover there late.
And for Judah Zikafus, comes at a big time. 23 seconds remaining in the half. Isaac Coy will drop the knee. Taff here in week 8. Pioneers holding on to a 1-point lead. Score after 1. We'll step aside and come back with about 3 minutes left at the break.
Yeah, we'll get the band out for you.
We'll be back in a moment. You've been watching Ohio High School football on Southern Ohio Sports Authority, presented by Ohio.
Hey, Mike Glockner here from the Glockner family of dealerships. Want to talk to you about our express service that we offer at every Glockner location. Did you know that you don't need an appointment if you need a routine service done to your vehicle? All you have to do is show up. No appointment necessary. Stop by and let us serve you at any Glockner location today.
Glo Fiber is now in Ohio. And with gig speed fiber internet, we're keeping things real. As in real reliable speeds. Real people who really want to talk to you. Not to mention, real simple pricing. Switch to Glo Fiber today to get real fast, real reliable fiber internet and your first month free. Glo Fiber is here. Welcome to Glo Ohio. Call 1-833-WANT.
Tomlinson Insurance has been protecting families, farms, and businesses in our community. As an independent agency, we offer personalized coverage for your auto, home, farm, and business, plus health and life insurance too. And we proudly partner with Erie Insurance to give you peace of mind with reliable coverage at competitive rates. Tomlinson Insurance, Let our history be your future. Call us today at 740-773-4181 or visit us at tomlinsonins.com.
Mark. 6 months of training. 8 miles to go. A 3-way tie for almost last place.
Look good in these shorts, right?
And 3 years since he and his team at Ohio Health left cancer in the dust.
If there's not a Par-Mar store near you now, there will be soon. That's the slogan, and that's what we believe at Par-Mar stores. From groceries to gas and all the other stuff you need, Par-Mar has it. Download the Par-Mar app for even more savings, and don't forget the Par-Mar rewards card too. We also believe in being a big part of your community, so look for us at the ball game or wherever you are. Shop us today, like us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and remember, if there's not a Par-Mar store near you now, there will be soon.
Caleb Williams has transferred to Wendy's for the new loaded nacho cheeseburger.
This burger's my inspiration, and I just hope to inspire you.
Oh, you have inspired us.
Thought we were doing names on the headband.
Get it together. Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's new loaded nacho cheeseburger.
This broadcast is brought to you in part by Willie & Son Trucking. Willie & Son Trucking has been a proud supporter of local student athletes, coaches, and athletic programs throughout its history. Be sure to look out for the Shack Athlete of the Week presented by Willie & Son Trucking each week at sosaohio.com.
Relax and get hip for this hit by the band Queen. Get ready to dance to a crazy little thing called love. The marching Shermans love to laugh, love to sing, love to move, and love to groove. We hope you enjoy this classic hit from Journey. Here is Any Way You Want It. give one last round of applause for Unioto High School Marching Shermans. Please welcome back our 8th through 12th grade home band and junior high band. 7th through 12th grade parade band has been enjoying preparing for our upcoming parades, including the Pumpkin Show Parade of Bands next Thursday, the Fall Festival of Leaves Parade next Sunday, and the Halloween Parade the following Saturday. They will be playing a few of the songs the band has been practicing for those parades. Up first is one of the most important and sometimes one of the most challenging songs of the season for our new members. It's in a key of A flat and 6/8 time. Here is Zane Trace's fight song. Feel free to clap and sing along. Released by Jerry Lee Lewis in 1957, our third song is energetic and fun to play. Here is Great Balls of Fire. Our final song tonight is also a Zane Trace Band standard and a cheerleader dance tune. Released in 1973 by the Doobie Brothers, no junior high band night would be complete without Long Train a Running. marching bands this evening. As a reminder to please check out Flossie's Sweet Tooth table located under the home grandstand. Help the band raise money for their new uniforms. Thank you to the 7th and 8th grade band members for joining us tonight. There's also another chance to catch the 8th through 12th grade band show as they perform tomorrow night at Logan High School at the Fall Festival of Bands at 5 p.m. Admission is 8 p.m. Admission will be $8. Come on out and support the band. Once again, that is Logan High p.m. Again, we would like to take this opportunity to thank some of our major sponsors. One of our sponsors this evening, Adina Health Systems Orthopedic and Spine Institute. We provide the athletic trainer and the physicians here at Zane Trace. Also our press box sponsor, Subway Restaurants from Chillicothe. And our fall sports sponsors, Newman's Insurance, Norse Auto Mall, Live Well Chiropractic, Upper Electrical Services, Kingston National Bank, and Young's Family Market, First American Insurance Agency, Southern Ohio Athletic Association, your Zane Trace Sun Jump Club, and your Zane Trace Athletic Boost.
This broadcast is brought to you in part by Willie and Son Trucking. Willie and Son Trucking has been a proud supporter of local student athletes, coaches, and athletic programs throughout its history. Be sure to look out for the Shack Athlete of the Week presented by Willie and Son Trucking each week at sosaohio.com.
Caleb Williams has transferred to Wendy's for the new loaded nacho cheeseburger.
This burger is my inspiration, and I just hope to inspire you.
Oh, you have inspired us.
Thought we were doing names on the headband.
Get it together. Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's new loaded nacho cheeseburger.
Since 1853, Tomlinson Insurance has been protecting families, farms, and businesses in our community. As an independent agency, we offer personalized coverage for your auto, home, farm, and business, plus health and life insurance too. And we proudly partner with Erie Insurance to give you peace of mind with reliable coverage at competitive rates. Tomlinson Insurance. Let our history be your future. Call us today at 740-773-4181 or visit us at tomlinsonins.com.
We welcome you back to Zane Trace High School as we continue to work through internet issues. We think we may have figured it out, although I say that within 30 seconds of being back it could all go downhill again. But nonetheless, the Shermans start off the night punching it in from 2 yards out on the opening drive for the Shermans, the second rushing touchdown of the season for Isaac Coy. The Pioneers able to have successful offensive drives, just not able to find the end zone. They do on their second to last drive on the legs of Silas Stewart. Key for ZT, Judah Hanks able to knock through the PAT. Pioneers sit in front 7-6 as we head to the second half.
Yeah, the big play on that was the McCullough 58-yard pass to Peyton Dotson, who broke free on a play action. It was their first pass attempt of the game. Got 58 yards. McCullough ends the first half 2 of 4 for 69 yards. He also had 7 rushes for -7 yards, but, I mean, a couple of those were big fumbles, so if you look at his normal yardage, he's doing okay. But the big one, Silas Stewart, 9 rushes, 49 yards, and a touchdown, including a 10-yard score. That is what put Zane Trace on the board. Bryce Johnson, 5 carries, 37 yards. But the biggest plays of the night, Aiden Dunn, 2 interceptions on defense for the Zane Trace defense, giving him 4 on the season. And, you know, that makes a big difference right there. As for Unioto, Isaac Coy is 7 for 11 for 52 yards, has thrown 2 interceptions. The 2 other plays were drop balls that, you know, Unioto's just got to hold on to. So, you know, outside of he's got 2 rushes for 1 yard. 1 was a touchdown. Cody Braden, 9 rushes, 66 yards. He's also got 3 catches for 18 yards. Jackson Zickafus with 3 catches for 23 yards. Big thing for Unioto so far, Caden Cutright and Blake Hoops have combined for 1 catch for 11 yards. Now, Hoops had 1 that was taken back. That was about a 15-yard gain. But Zane Trace has played their zone defense, has done a really good job of negating Unioto from getting those big plays to those senior wide receivers. A couple things for Unioto. We mentioned Aiden Dunn defensively for Zane Trace. For Unioto, Bryce Jarvis has a couple tackles for loss, fumble recovery. Marcel James has a couple tackles for loss. Judah Zikafus has played pretty well as well. So, he's got an interception also. So it's a game. Both teams very much have a big-time chance to win this game. But got to eliminate, penalties. Penalties, turnovers. Both teams have 2 turnovers so far. And for Unioto, they had a big 10-yard penalty that pushed them back on a hold, that pushed them behind the sticks, ended up punting on that possession. Another possession. It ended up not scoring for Zane Trace, but it continued to drive where they got an unsportsmanlike conduct after they got a 3rd down stop that ended up, really putting them behind the 8 ball, because I think they started at the 2 that next possession after that, after an eventual Zane Trace punt.
Zane Trace winning the coin toss prior to tonight's contest, electing to defer to the second half, so they will receive the opening kickoff here in the 3rd quarter.
Now
It'll
for
be Liam Mattheon to boot it away.
They tried to kick away from Aiden Dunn earlier. Mason Hartley had about a 46-yard kickoff return on his first touch. So let's see if they try it again here.
Shermans and Pioneers, second half underway from Zane Trace High School. Looks to be Aiden Dunn on the return from inside his own 15. Aiden Dunn out past the 30-yard line and brought down about a yard shy of the 35.
Yeah, and I thought that was getting close to an area of a face mask, but must have been in the jersey. Dunn with a nice little in the return game because he's been so dynamic in that aspect so far this season.
So the Pioneers are back out on offense, looking to begin the second half the same way they ended the first. It'll to the far sideline and brought down just shy of the 40-yard line.
Good job there by the Zikafus brothers to conform. I thought he got about 6 on the play. Ends up being a gain of 4, over 40 yards now on the night for Johnson.
So a pickup of 4 yards on the first down carry for Bryce Johnson. He remains in the game alongside McCullough in the backfield. 2nd and 6, back to Johnson between the tackles. He's met by a host of Sherman defenders and brought down after a gain of 1.
Yeah, nice job there by David Long. Got low, and that's really what you got to do to bring down someone like Johnson. You try to tackle him up by his shoulders, he's going to break through it every time. But if you get him low, you got a chance to at least hold him up for your tag team partners there to come up and make a play. And now it's going to be a 3rd and 5. For Zane Trace, you got some options here.
3rd down, 5 yards to go. The Pioneers need the 44-yard line for a new set of downs. To the near sideline, nearly intercepted by Caden Cutright, but a flag is down.
I don't know what this is going to be.
Pass incomplete, a flag on the play.
That's not a good call. What's he supposed to do? So he's being blocked, and he's trying to get through it. Almost intercepts the pass. That's a really bad call.
So that'll be a 15-yard penalty and a fresh set of downs for the Pioneers.
Or is it spot because it's below?
Penalty being stepped off against the Shermans.
So while the officials get together to talk about the penalty, we will get the new spottage of the ball.
That's bad.
And that'll give Zane Trace a first down.
Like when our camera guy looks at us and kind of says the same.
So the penalty moves the Pioneers across midfield and into Sherman territory. 1st and 10 from the +47 for Zane Trace. 3 receivers sent for the Pioneers. First down, Silas Stewart back into the ball game. He takes the first down carry inside the Sherman 45.
And they're
2nd down and about 6.
4 yards on the first down carry for Stewart. 2nd and 6 for ZT. Back to the ground, it's Silas Stewart. Up the right hash, Silas Stewart with room to run. The senior off to the races, inside the 5, and just short of the goal line.
And that's a little bit of by Stewart and the coaching staff to just go right back to it.
They're inside the 5. Zane Trace will get it first and
Ends up being a 40-yard gain for the senior Stewart, now up to 93 yards on the game.
Goal to go for the Pioneers from the 3-yard line. Tight formation, 2 receivers set, back to Stewart to the right side. Silas Stewart crosses the plane, touchdown Pioneers.
Second touchdown for Silas Stewart. This one a little easier than the last. Goes around the right end. 96 yards now on 12 carries for Stewart in the biggest game of his season.
Largest lead of the night for either team, now an 7-point lead for Zane Trace. Judah Hanks on for the point after. An 8-point ball game, which he does. 14-6 is our score with 9:23 to go in the third quarter. We'll take a quick break. You're watching Ohio High School football on Southern Ohio Sports Authority, presented by Ohio Health.
Mark. 6 months of training. 8 miles to go. A 3-way tie for almost last place.
You look good in these shorts, right?
And 3 years since he and his team at Ohio Health left cancer in the dust.
If there's not a Parmar store near you now, there will be soon. That's the slogan, and that's what we believe at Parmar stores. From groceries to gas and all the other stuff you need, Parmar has it. Download the Parmar app for even more savings, and don't forget the Parmar Rewards Card too. We also believe in being a big part of your community, so look for us at the ball game or wherever you are. Shop us today, like us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and remember, if there's not a Parmar store near you now, there will be soon.
We welcome you back to Zane Trace High School, the 10th and team-leading 10th rushing touchdown of the season for Silas Stewart. This one from 3 yards out to put the Pioneers up 14-6.
Yeah, going behind that right side of Evan Brower, Lucas Euler doing a really good job on that drive for the Pioneers. Gives them their biggest lead of the game. Unioto going to have to do something on this possession.
After scoring on the opening drive, the Shermans have been shut out for the last quarter and a half as this kick from Hanks rolls out of bounds just outside the 20-yard line. So that'll push the Shermans out with favorable field position to begin their second drive. Check that, their first drive here in the third quarter.
Yeah, the only issue with doing those short kicks, trying to avoid the big play in the kickoff game, is sometimes you're going to kick the ball out of bounds. And that one almost looked like it was going to go out well for Zane Trace, but it just kept rolling. And eventually now Unioto's going to have the ball set up at their own 35.
So it'll be 1st and 10 for the Shermans from their own 35-yard line. 1st and 10, a failed handoff, and the ball is free, and it looks like the Pioneers are on top of it. Another costly turnover, although it looks like Unioto's on top of it. With 2 Pioneer defenders first to the football, Unioto somehow escapes with possession.
Very lucky there by Unioto. Landon Caruth has got to be one of the top fumble recovery artists in the area. See, I had no business pulling that one in, but that's
the chain gang already
had switched,
moving to make it 1st and 10 for the Pioneers, so they are now readjusting to the original line of scrimmage and line to gain of Unioto, which of course the
35 and the 45 as Unioto now behind the chains on second down.
Yeah, that's an easy adjustment, though, because of where the penalty was.
Second down.
So that'll make it second down, 14 yards to go for Unioto. Play action, Coy out to his right, under pressure. He'll dump it off. This is David Long in the middle of the field. David Long out to the 40-yard line. And a pickup of about 10 yards for the junior H-back. Just his 5th catch of the season.
Yeah, good play design there. A little bit of a throwback. Let your H-back make a play. Able to pick up 12 on the gain. Now you got 3rd, very manageable. Cody Braden, for the most part in the first half, he only had 2 rushes that were below 4 yards. So I think you're probably going to look to go here because you probably got 2 downs to get the 3 yards.
Sherman's now back within striking distance of the line to gain. It'll be Cody Braden to the outside, has the first down and more across midfield and into Pioneer territory.
Yeah, pick up a 9 there for Braden, up to 75 yards on the game. Braden has been very good since moving to that halfback spot a couple weeks ago.
And John, although we didn't get to talk much halftime scores at the break, some interesting scores from around the area with some of the top teams in the coverage area.
Yeah, Miami Trace with a 21-16 lead over Jackson at the half. I'd say that's a pretty big shocker at the half at least.
Fairland only out in front over Ironton. Check that, Ironton only out in front over Fairland 6-0 in their contest as well, as Cody Braden takes the first down carry for a pickup of 1.
And I thought the ball was loose on that. It looked like his arms came forward, which typically is when the ball gets loose. Brower made a big hit there. And then if anyone else is going to be there, it's
Blake Hoops brought down at the 45. Loses his helmet as well.
Game doing a pretty good job of just holding things in. Now, I think he's got to come out because his helmet came off. Even, so it's going to be 3rd and 7. But for Unioto, they're in the positive range here. So if you pick up anything positive here, more than likely you're going to just go for it again on 4th.
3rd and 7, back to the ground with Cody Braden barreling over defenders and will come up about 2 yards shy of the line to gain. 4th and short now. For extremely close.
Yeah, if it's the front foot, I think. And you might as well. I mean, it's going to take an extra, 30 seconds? Yeah, they're gonna have the markers come out to look at it. Good camera work here by our Kenneth Hay.
The line to gain was the 39-yard line, and it looks like the Shermans will have it by about half a football.
Yeah, just another really hard-nosed run and maybe that's where Braden needs to get more experience at the running back because he made a move at the line. He's able to use his forward momentum to pick up the first.
Fresh set of downs now for Unioto. Right back to Braden, out to the left numbers. Cody Braden cuts it up and inside the Pioneer 35.
But also whenever you are as athletic and just overall football talented as Cody Braden is, he's able to just make plays while playing at a new position.
So 2nd and short now for Unioto. A 7-yard pickup on first down for the junior tailback, Cody Braden. Braden motions out to the right hash. Coy drops back to pass on second down. Isaac Coy firing to the end zone. It's caught! Jackson Zikafus on the other end from 32 yards out for the score.
Really, really good play design there by Unioto. One of the big things Coy does well, he throws the deep ball well, but he also sells that play fake. And then Zikafus goes up, draws contact as he makes the play. Outstanding play there for Unioto.
So the point after awaits. The Shermans currently trailing by 2. And it looks like they will chase the points here and look to tie it up at 14 apiece.
You got a big size advantage with Blake Hoops on the outside, but you might just go.
Jaden Higgins on the stop for the Pioneers as they remain out in front by 2. We'll take a quick break. 14-12 is our score. You're watching Ohio High School football on Southern Ohio Sports Authority, presented by Ohio Health.
Hey, Mike, did you know that you don't need an appointment if you need a routine service done to your vehicle? All you have to do is show up. No appointment necessary. Stop by and let us serve you at any Glockner location today.
Richard. Countless nights in the garage. 8 shiny new pistons. 1 very happy 16-year-old granddaughter. And 2 years since starting cancer treatment at Ohio Health.
We welcome you back to Zane Trace High School. A failed 2-point conversion following the Isaac Coy to Jackson Zickafoos touchdown leaves the Pioneers out in front by 2.
You don't see that very often in high school. Now, we're not second guessing anything here, but I would like to see an attempt to try to get this ball to the end zone. He's got 6 or 7 touchbacks on the year. I think he had 5 in one game up at Westfall. Now, maybe that was a little wind-aided, but Liam Matthews shown that he's been able to get a touchback. Now, maybe if you don't get in the end zone, then some big play can happen, but
So Mattheon to boot it away. 5:37 to go here in the third quarter.
Although they might have just recovered it. Nope.
This ball will roll out of bounds beyond the 40-yard line. Appeared to nearly be an accident.
And that was something we saw last year when we did the stream here with Zane Trace and Paint Valley, where Zane Trace just kept doing that same kick, and they recovered it like 3 times. I thought it was a spot. I thought it was a spot when it's past the 35, but apparently it's 5 yards. So
the Pioneers will start off this drive 4 yards shy of midfield on their own 46. A handoff on first down that looks to be Bryce Johnson as he takes it up to midfield.
Bryce Johnson out across midfield.
Yeah, pick up a 4 there for Johnson. He hasn't really had the big run yet, but he's been very solid so far.
Third and 4 for the Shermans. Less than a minute to go here in the third quarter. Empty backfield for Coy. He tosses it to Braden. There's a whistle and a flag prior to the snap. Looks to be a false start on the Shermans.
The offense.
That'll take it from third and manageable to third down and 9.
Third down and about 9.
Coming from the sideline, maybe got a little help on the call. I don't know. There's so many things in motion now to me that I'm like, it doesn't look right. But
so now for the Shermans, third down and 9 from the plus 35-yard line. 4 receivers set with 3 to the near side. Braden in the backfield.
Sometimes you take the big chance and it pays off. Sometimes it doesn't. That one does not pay off for Zane Trace. A long pass there from Coy. Ball's in the air a long time, but as soon as Caden Cutright gets it, he's scoring. Great job there by Cutright to finish off the play. A 26-yard pass and catch.
The 6th receiving touchdown of the season for Caden Cutright. Now with a team-high 530 receiving yards for the Shermans.
And I'll tell you what, Unioto is kind of fortunate right here because I think where they just said that where they're going to put it, that play clock probably should have been running at some point here because they took a long time to decide what play they wanted. So a possible big break for Unioto right here as they're able to set up their 2-point try.
Analytics say go for 2 here. Make it a 6-point game. Isaac Coy all alone in the backfield. A tight, bunched-up formation for Unioto. Braden motions behind Coy as he rolls out to his right after the shotgun snap, firing to the back of the end zone, and it's Blake Hoops to convert the two-point try. A 6-point lead for the Shermans. With 12 ticks to go in the third, we'll step aside. You're watching Ohio High School football on Southern Ohio Sports Authority, presented by Ohio Health.
Hey, Mike Glockner here from the Glockner family of dealerships. Want to talk to you about our express service that we offer at every Glockner location. Did you know that you don't need an appointment if you need a routine service done to your vehicle? All you have to do is show up. No appointment necessary. Stop by and let us serve you at any Glockner location today.
Richard. Countless nights in the garage. 8 shiny new pistons. 1 very happy 16-year-old granddaughter. And 2 years since starting cancer treatment at Ohio Health.
We welcome you back to Zane Trace High School as the Pioneers, once leading, now trailing the Unioto Shermans 20-14, as Unioto has thrown up 14 unanswered points.
Yeah, and where Isaac Coy was struggling a little bit in the first half throwing, does a nice job so far. And this is where it's Elliot Alsop. He's their better pooch kicker in this situation. So look for Unioto to pooch kick again here.
So a pooch kick to the near side, right to Bryce Johnson, who will return it for the Pioneers. Once again, Zane Trace beginning a drive with favorable field position as Johnson returned it up to his own 42-yard line.
Now, maybe it was known that he was their better pooch kicker because Zane Trace looked a little more prepared for it there. But slightly not as good field position as last for a lot of Silas Stewart to end this quarter, as we've only got the 8 seconds left in the quarter.
So Gunnar McCullough and the Pioneer offense will look to answer 14 unanswered points from Unioto. First down, a handoff, Silas Stewart between the tackles. And out past the 45-yard line as an extremely fast and loud car drives past the field here at Zane Trace. That'll wrap it up for the third quarter here tonight. Fourth quarter in just a few moments as we flip sides of the field. You're watching Ohio High School football on Southern Ohio Sports Authority, presented by Ohio.
Glo Fiber is now in Ohio. And with gig speed fiber internet, we're keeping things real. As in real reliable speeds. Real people who really want to talk to you. Not to mention, real simple pricing. Switch to Glo Fiber today to get real fast, real reliable fiber internet and your first month free. Glo Fiber is here. Welcome to Glo Ohio. Call 1-833-WANT-GLO or visit glofiber.com to switch today.
Kimberly. Tons of practice. One chop away from a black belt.
Out of bounds. So it'll be third down and 7 for the Pioneers as we begin the fourth quarter here in week 8.
Yeah, McCullough 2 of 6 now passing. That's the second time that he's just thrown it away. But Jackson with a 29-21 lead now over Miami Trace.
Could potentially be a big win for the Panthers as they look to knock off Jackson for the first time since joining the FAC. One of the few games we previewed this past week. 3rd and 7, back to the ground for the Pioneers. It's Silas Stewart as he comes up just a yard shy of the line to gain. 4th and 1 now for ZT.
Well, that's a big 6-yard pickup there. Ends up now over 100 yards for Silas Stewart, 105 on the game. And that's big because
down closer to a yard and a half for the Pioneers as they need the 47 for a fresh set of downs.
And really, I think if you're Unioto, you just got to close this down even more if you're the linebackers.
It's a 3-receiver set with Donson tight to the right side of the line. So we have a whistle prior to the snap. And it will be a timeout for the Pioneers as the play clock was winding down.
And they almost got Unioto. So now you can bring McCullough back if you want, or you can go the same option. I think if you're Unioto, you almost got to drop in an extra, one of your DBs a little closer.
First timeout of the half for Dylan Wares. And John, this is a Zane only allowing 6 points, while on the offensive side logging 77.
Yeah, they've been really good as of late since they got into league play. But this is a huge play.
It'll be a quarterback keeper. Check that. It'll be out of the Wildcat with Bryce Johnson as he's brought down in the backfield.
Judah Zikafus once again makes a huge play. It's only going to be credited as, I think, a loss of 2 on the play, but it seemed like
Johnson still sitting down on the field. So there were a lot of bodies flying around on the 4th down try for the Pioneers.
Well, and when you're as big and strong as Johnson is, if you get tackled up top, you're going to try to fight through it, which Zikafus got him up top. Just get a quick break. We saw him in week 5 against Piketon, left late in the first half, came back in the second half and was even better. So hopefully he can just get some attention from the trainer here on the sideline. He is walking off on his own power, so that's a positive.
So after the 4th down stop, the Shermans will take over right at midfield.
Yeah, and for Unioto, this is a, I'm not going to say a must-score drive, but you got to make sure you're holding on to the ball. But if you could score here, that's a gigantic play in this game.
For a pickup of 3 yards.
He's getting close to that 100-yard mark as well. He's at 95 now.
2nd down and 7.
And if you look back at our week 4 matchup between West and
2nd and 7 for the Shermans. Now with the H-back, David Long met at the line of scrimmage as he churns up to the Pioneer 45.
They're going to end up giving him 3 on that. He got a lot of help from Aiden Perry there. One of the linemen, that is a play that not that long ago was very illegal. So a nice pickup there for Unioto. Picks up 3. Now they got 3rd and 4 at the 44. I think if you pick up 2 or 3, because play clock's running down.
So Matt Hoops will elect to take his first time out of the second half. And it comes with 9:37 to go in the final quarter of regulation.
I believe that was in the 3rd. And then Ironton has kind of turned it on Fairland as they're up 28-0 in that one. But, I mean, I'm not going to discredit Fairland on that because they, play through a half pretty tight. And then, that's kind of when the difference in the talents end up, making it evident. But here, coming up now for Unioto, 3rd and 4 at the 44. I think as long as you don't lose yardage here, you're in a chance where you could go if you want. However, you've punted one inside the 20 once. If you punt them deep, but also if you punt and Zane Trace goes on a long scoring drive, they can run pretty much the rest of the game off the clock.
So it will be an empty backfield for Isaac Coy on 3rd down and 4. A similar formation that we saw the keeper on earlier.
Even last week, and then on 3rd and 4, maybe the biggest play of the season so far for the Shermans. You give it to the sophomore, and he picks up 18. Big time play there for the Shermans. But that kind of goes with, not being predictable.
So 1st and 10 from the plus 26-yard line. Back to the ground with Cody Braden. As Braden looks for the left edge, and he's not going to get there as he's forced out of bounds by Cohen Larson and Aiden Dunn.
Braden on the carry.
Yeah, I think it's going to end up being a loss of 1, which is his first loss of the game. Really good job there of extending that, stretching that out by Cohen Larson and Aiden Dunn. I think Jaden Higgins got there as well. it's just that's a nice play by Zane Trace, and it gets him out of bounds, so it stops the clock.
So a loss of 1 on the first down carry for Cody Braden, now 2nd and 11. Back to Braden. Between the hashes as he cuts it up. It will come out about a yard or two shy of the 20-yard line.
Yeah, he had a couple guys. If he was able to make Cohen Larson miss, that's going to be a big-time play. But Larson's able to get enough of them to bring him down short. So now 3rd and 6. It's not crazy to say they're in field goal range. I know Matthew missed his 1 kick so far of the game, so maybe you're not thinking that right here. But if you make it a 2-possession game, that makes it a lot more difficult for Zane Trace.
From here, it would be about a 39-yarder for Matthew. And it will be Isaac Coy on the design quarterback keeper. So he brings it to the near sideline inside the 10. Another first down run for the Shermans.
And that's kind of the growth right there of Isaac Coy, where even last week they're not doing that. So they see something they like, and instead of airing it out there on 3rd down when you're in field goal range, instead you trust your line, who's gotten better against the run all year, and trust your sophomore to get out there and pick up the first. Nice play for the Shermans. Good blocking on the outside by Jackson Sycophus as well.
Now goal to go for the Shermans from the 7-yard line. Coy to throw, a dump off to see shimmies close to the line of scrimmage. Potentially a pickup of 1, but not a whole lot of room on the first down reception for the junior tailback.
Yeah, I'd rather just see just a handoff there. I know you're tighter inside the 10, but I'd rather just see the handoff there because you still have a lot of moving parts, so different things can happen defensively far today.
Second down, goal to go. It'll be Cody Braden. Out to the right edge. Braden cuts it up as he nears closer to the far sideline as he's forced out of bounds inside the Pioneer 5.
I think they're going to mark him at the 2.
To Braden, Cody Braden knocked down in the backfield.
Yeah, that's Hudson Williams again. Hudson Williams, I believe Jaden Higgins, but we're going to have a penalty after the play. It's going to be on Zane Trace.
So a penalty after the tackle.
But I don't know how much of a difference that makes. Because,
if on the Pioneers, would more than likely make it a new set of downs.
If it's unsportsmanlike, because all you got to do, you have less than a yard to go. I think you got to trust your guys up front to get it, but I think a handoff is going to take too much time. And that's where Zane Trace with a Hudson Williams can burst through and make a big play like he did on that last play.
So the second time out of the half for the Shermans. The Pioneers look to hold the Shermans out of the end zone here on 4th down.
We'll say on the outside you got a size advantage with Blake Hoops, but he's on the short side of the field, so I don't know if you're going to go there. I think you just got to run it.
So out of the timeout, it'll be Braden directly behind Coy, who's in the pistol. Long lined up as an H-back towards the left side of the line. Now Long under center. Direct snap to Coy. He hands it off. Cody Braden between the tackles. Touchdown, Shermans.
There's a touchdown.
Yeah, he's coming from a good bit away, so he's got to get some initial good blocking up front, and they're able to do so. Braden battles through with the initial tackler and is able to get the score to the Shermans.
So the Shermans now up by 2 scores as Matthew trots on for the point after. Although it looks like the Shermans.
But it was just so hard to get that last yard, but I get it.
So a direct snap to Braden. This is a play they attempted to run earlier. This time are successful doing so as Cody Braden powers into the end zone for the 2-point conversion. We'll take a quick break. A 28-14 Sherman lead with 6:25 left here in the fourth quarter. You're watching Ohio High School football on Southern Ohio Sports Authority, presented by Ohio.
Mark. 6 months of training. 8 miles to go. A 3-way tie for almost last place.
You look good in these shorts, right?
And 3 years since he and his team at Ohio Health left cancer in the dust.
If you need, Parmar has it. Download the Parmar app for even more savings, and don't forget the Parmar Rewards Card too. We also believe in being a big part of your community, so look for us at the ball game or wherever you are. Shop us today, like us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and remember, if there's not a Parmar store near you now, there will be soon.
We welcome you back to Zane Trace High School as the Shermans now have taken a commanding 14-point lead. Largest of the night for either team with 6:25 to go in the fourth.
Yeah, and it's been all Shermans the second half. Made it 14-6, 22 unanswered points here for the Shermans.
Liam Matthey back on to boot it away for the Shermans. So it will be returned from inside the Pioneer 15-yard line. It's Mason Hartley on the return for ZT.
Yusuf Wilson on the... Yes, Hartley had the run, big play, but now St. Trace has got to go 77 yards. It's going to be hard for them to score multiple times, I guess, in the last 6:20. Still have a chance. I mean, you got 2 timeouts. A quick score here would do wonders. The good thing is Bryce Johnson is back with his helmet on the sideline. He's not in, but at least he looks like there's a chance he can come back and play.
For the time being, it'll be Silas Stewart in the backfield alongside McCullough. McCullough keeping it on first down, and he will be brought down after a pickup of 1.
Yeah, for Unioto, Bryce Jarvis, Marcel James, and Judah Zikafus have been outstanding against the run. There's been a couple of big plays. One was the pass to Dotson, and then Silas Stewart had the big run to start the second half. But other than that, Unioto's done a really good job.
A big-time completion to Landon Robinson. His first of the night. This is the senior receiver, pushes it out past his own 45-yard line. Just a 4th reception of the year for Robinson.
Hey, you got a 6'3" athlete out there. You put it up and let him make a play. That ball is just out of the defender's reach, only where Landon Robinson can make a catch. Senior does a great job going up and getting it. 19-yard gain there for the Pioneers. Big play.
1st and 10 now for the Pioneers. Of the tight end, Peyton Dotson.
There's a little contact downfield for Unioto, maybe a little lucky. It would have been kind of touchy, but at the same time, last week we saw Wilder. So
it's a wild week 7.
Yeah, it was.
So after the incompletion will be 2nd and 10 for Zane Trace. McCullough, play action under pressure, now rolling to his right. Will throw it away. Marcel James providing the pressure for the Shermans' defensive front.
Yeah, like I said, James has been really good. He had a couple tackles for loss. He's got a sack. He forced a fumble earlier in the game. He's just been all over the place. Gets a pass defense there, or not a pass defense, but a hurry there. One thing to look for here, number 11, J.J. Smith on the outside for Unioto. He doesn't have a sack all year, but he gets to so many plays and makes things happen. So anything rolling to the left, look for 11 to kind of make some havoc here for the Shermans.
2 incompletions, now 3rd and 10 in an empty backfield for Gunnar McCullough. McCullough stepping up in the pocket and sacked. The senior Ben Griffin with his 4th of the year. And a 4th and long coming up for Zane Trace.
Unioto does a good job against the run, like a pretty solid job against the run, but they do a really good job against the pass, especially when it is a for sure passing down. They did it against Waverly in week 3, and have shown it tonight in the rare passing downs that there have been.
So a 4th and long now for the Pioneers, whose backs are up against the wall. From their own 43, an empty backfield for McCullough. Fires it to the near side, pass is caught by Silas Stewart, as he's extremely close to the line.
I'm going to be, kudos to Stewart on that because he knew where to go. Unioto looked like they were just okay with letting him get some yardage there. I don't think they realized how close he was to the first down. Great job by Stewart of getting to the line to gain, especially on this near side where the sticks aren't. I guess they're going to measure. Guys, the sticks are very wrong.
So the chain gang still needing to catch up while the Pioneer offense ready to roll.
I'm going to be honest.
I would assume we may need a clock readjustment as well if it was running prior to the snap.
Now, I know they're gonna check this, but I think a lot of that where they probably assumed was probably with how Unioto played that defensively.
So the chain gang out for the measure, bringing it all the way from the far to the near sideline.
I thought he got it.
The Pioneer faithful,
yeah, they got
not
it easy.
Too pleased with the measurement. Entire football past the line again. Fresh set of downs for the Pioneers.
I will say, I know they're not happy with the measurement, but now you got all this time for them to get across the field. You
got to catch your breath as well.
Time to down, unless something like they dropped the ball backwards or something. But for Zane Trace to get a good chance to regroup here. 4:30 to play. Obviously a must score.
5 wide for the Pioneers on 1st and 10 from the plus 43. McCullough under pressure. Cody Braden and into the backfield for the sack.
McCullough caught the backfield.
Comes off the left side unblocked. It's going to be 10 yards. Comes off the left side unblocked, and by the time McCullough turns around, he's met by Braden.
Play action.
Is incomplete. Zane Trace, 3rd down.
And for the Pioneers moving forward, John,
Make it for Dotson.
although McCullough and Dotson have not been able to connect on a majority of the targets, Dotson showing the kind of vertical threat he can be for this Pioneer offense moving forward.
Yeah, he's like our Kenneth Hay talked about how fast he was, and I was like, he can't be that fast. He's right. Dotson can really move, especially at the tight end spot that you can put out in the slot. I really like that if they can, match that.
James at the plus 48-yard line.
You just got to get some yardage.
Marcel James.
I mean, it ends up being a gain of 7.
And long for the Pioneers.
So that takes it from a 3rd and 19 to a 4th and 15 for the Pioneers. The 4th quarter. 5-man rush. McCullough under pressure. Ball is away over the middle, and it's picked off. Jackson Zickafoos going the other way. Zickafoos bringing it to the near sideline inside the Pioneer 35 as the Shermans take over and return it deep into Pioneer territory. Flags are down after the play.
Yeah, I hope that we didn't have a skip on that play because Peyton Dotson got absolutely drilled and then was the guy who came back that gave up the ball. But that's a great play that Coach Weirs is going to be able to show his guys, guys, we got to have this effort play. But big hit from Judah Zickafoos. Jackson Zickafoos makes his 2nd really big play of the game. Big time pick there for the Shermans, as now they're going to be able to run down the clock.
Right at the Pioneer 35-yard line. A little over 3 minutes to go here in the 4th quarter.
Do we have the I don't know what we're going to get call here.
So more than likely unsportsmanlike on the Shermans following the interception. And it looks like whoever it was on, it was his 2nd of the ball game. No hand signal, and it will be on the Shermans. So 100% sure. Not a whole lot of clarity on the call, but most definitely on the Shermans. That'll push them back to midfield. The umpire seemingly...
First down for Shermans.
So the penalty pushes Unioto back to the 50-yard line. Jack Weingardner now in at wide receiver for Unioto. Leading tackler for the Shermans on the defensive side coming in. 1st and 10, Cody Braden bouncing it out to the right side. Cody Braden with some room to run with Blake Hoops as a lead blocker. And Braden will slide down in bounds, although it looks like he will be tackled out of bounds.
That's such a tough play because he was trying to stay in bounds. Just go, like, in that situation, just go out of bounds because he just took a big hit because he was trying to stay in. And, you know, for Zane Trace, you're going to keep playing on that, and that ends up, knocking him out of bounds, but also taking the extra hit. 133
time
catches.
This year, Cody Braden has been over the century mark in one game. Back to the junior on 1st and 10.
And I'll say this for Braden, the other game he was over the century mark was Piketon. So their two biggest SVC games so far, he's able to, do that.
Pickup of 1 yard on the first down carry for Cody Braden. As the clock continues to roll. Second down handoff right back to Braden. To go in the fourth quarter.
Pioneers taking their second timeout.
A 3rd down and 6 for Unioto. It's clearly the plan now for Zane Trace. Get a stop here, utilize your final timeout. And hopefully come up with a 4th down stop. David Long bouncing it out to the outside as he's brought down by Aiden Dunn. Pick-up of a yard for Long on the carry. As Zane Trace using their final timeout will stop the clock at $1:41.
Yeah, we'll see what Coach Hoops does here. They're in good shape with, the no timeouts left for Zane Trace. Do you just go with your running back here, or been able to, pick up good yardage on the run so far? It's going to be 4th and 5, 1:41 left. Remember, next week we will be at Unioto with Paint Valley coming to Unioto. Hopefully things are a little bit better on they tend to have been there, but in the past we've been good here too. So we'll kind of see. So we appreciate all the people here at Zane Trace helping us get set up. Just one of those things, one of those nights things happen.
Scioto Valley Conference Sports Authority for us on the football side to wrap up our coverage of the 2024 regular season. So out of the pistol, it'll be Isaac Coy and Cody Braden in the backfield, 4th and 5 for the Shermans. Coy looks to throw, looking to the outside, down the near sideline for Caden Cutright as it's batted away and incomplete. It's Jaden Higgins and Mason Hartley.
Yeah, Coy just underthrew that a little bit. If he would have known that Cutright would have made the move he made early in that route, maybe he throws that a little flatter. But nice job by Jaden Higgins coming over and making a nice play. I'll tell you what, the big thing, Silas Stewart, Aiden Dunn. I think you got Evan Brower, and then Bryce Johnson is dynamic as well. So this is a team that a lot of good things in their future as well.
So 1st and 10, Gunnar McCullough rolling out to his left. He'll dump it off underneath to Aiden Dunn, who scurries out of bounds after a pickup of 6.
Yeah, good job there. Just coming back to his quarterback. Only the second catch of the game for Dunn. Like I said, Unioto's done everything they can to avoid him getting touches. He had 2 interceptions in the game, that really made a big impact on how that first half went. But since the second half started, Unioto nearly lost a fumble on their first play from scrimmage, but since then, they've been really good offensively.
2nd and 5, McCullough rolling to his right, stepping into a throw, lobbing it to Larson near side, and it's nearly intercepted by Cody Braden, who bats it out of bounds. 3rd and 5 coming up for the Pioneers.
Yeah, that was another play. That was similar to what Coy's play to Cutright was, where it was just, if you flatten that ball out, and that comes with experience, you flatten that ball out, and that's going to be a big play. But instead, Cody Braden has time to get over and knock it down. And I think Cohen Larson may have done a good job of kind of defending that as an offensive player downfield to keep it from an interception.
So with $1:21 to go in the empty backfield for McCullough. Low snap, McCullough dumps it off underneath for Aiden Dunn as it flies through the senior receiver's hands and falls incomplete.
Yeah, got to get it first here because Unioto will just be able to take a knee if they get the possession. His 2 catches so far have been on screens.
Far cry from a week ago, 2 catches for 62 yards. 4th down, McCullough to pass, lobs it to the near sideline. It bounces seemingly off the turf nonetheless. Mason Hartley reaching down under for his first catch of the night will come up well shy of the line to gain as he took a big hit towards the end of the play. That'll be another turnover on downs for the Pioneers as Unioto takes over inside the Zane Trace 40-yard line.
Yeah, it really ends up being a nice game overall for Zane Trace. A lot to learn from for Unioto. You have to be really happy with the growth Isaac Coy made from the first half to the second half as he throws 2 interceptions in the first half, 2 touchdowns in the second half. But for Unioto, the big thing, the run game is now an option for them, which it wasn't 3 weeks ago.
So the Shermans out in the victory formation as Coy
time. And really for Unioto, now they've got 2 weeks left, but really this should give them at least a share of the SVC unless something really crazy happens in week 10. But next week, must win for Paint Valley to keep them and Zane Trace alive in the SVC race.
Coy back under center. He'll drop the knee, and that'll do it. Here in week 8 is the Shermans on top over the Pioneers for the 6th time in 8 seasons. And the 2nd year in a row is of golden ball in the SVC.
That'll take us to game time. Ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to thank you all for coming. Hope you enjoyed this evening's game. God bless you, and please have a safe trip home.
So 28-14 the final. Here at Zane Trace, 4 suffering their first loss in the SVC. Now sitting at 4-1 for the Pioneers next week. They'll stay here at home as they host the Southeastern Panthers for their senior night, while Unioto will head back to Frenchtown to host the Paint Valley Bearcats in a big-time SVC matchup that will be live here on Southern Ohio Sports Authority, presented by Ohio Health.
Yeah, it should be a fun one. Looking forward to that. And it's going to be another nice weather night because this was a perfect weather night for high school football. More of a fall feeling tonight here in beautiful Kinnickinnick.
So once again, 28-14 the final. The Shermans remain unbeaten in conference play within the SVC. We'll take a quick break. You've been watching Ohio High School football on Southern Ohio Sports Authority, presented by
Glockner here from the Glockner family of dealerships. Want to talk to you about our express service that we offer at every Glockner location. Did you know that you don't need an appointment if you need a routine service done to your vehicle? All you have to do is show up. No appointment necessary. Stop by and let us serve you at any Glockner location today.
Glo Fiber is now in Ohio. And with gig speed fiber internet, we're keeping things real. As in real, reliable speeds. Real people who really want to talk to you. Not to mention, real simple pricing. Switch to Glo Fiber today to get real fast, real reliable fiber internet and your first month free. Glo Fiber is here. Welcome to Glo-Hio. Call 1-833-WANT-GLO or visit glofiber.com to switch today.
Since 1853, Tomlinson Insurance has been protecting families, farms, and businesses in our community. As an independent agency, we offer personalized coverage for your auto, home, farm, and business, plus health and life insurance too. And we proudly partner with Erie Insurance to give you peace of mind with reliable coverage at competitive rates. Tomlinson Insurance. Let our history be your future. Call us today at 740-773-4181 or visit us at tomlinsonins.com.
Mark. 6 months of training. 8 miles to go. A 3-way tie for almost last place.
You look good in these shorts, right?
And 3 years since he and his team at Ohio Health left cancer in the dust.
If there's not a Par-Mar store near you now, there will be soon. That's the slogan, and that's what we believe at Par-Mar stores. From groceries to gas and all the other stuff you need, Par-Mar has it. Download the Par-Mar app for even more savings, and don't forget the Par-Mar rewards card too. We also believe in being a big part of your community, so look for us at the ball game or wherever you are. Shop us today, like us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and remember, if there's not a Par-Mar store near you now, there will be soon.
Caleb Williams has transferred to Wendy's for the new loaded nacho cheeseburger.
This burger's my inspiration, and I just hope to inspire you.
Oh, you have inspired us.
Thought we were doing names on the headband.
Get it together. Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's new loaded nacho cheeseburger.
This broadcast is brought to you in part by Willie and Son Trucking. Willie and Son Trucking has been a proud supporter of local student athletes, coaches, and athletic programs throughout its history. Be sure to look out for the Shack Athlete of the Week presented by Willie and Son Trucking each week at sosaohio.com.
We welcome you back to Zane Trace High School, the final here in Week 8, 28-14. The Shermans out on top to move to 7-1 on the regular season, currently sitting at 5-0 within the Scioto Valley Conference. A big test in Frenchtown next week for the Shermans as they host the Paint Valley Bearcats, who I would assume were victorious this week in their conference matchup, whereas Zane Trace will stay here at home and host the Southeastern Panthers next week for their senior night before heading down to Bainbridge in Week 10.
Yeah, I believe it's going to be senior night for both schools, as I believe Unioto is on the road in week. No, actually, they're back home in Week 10. So, so good game for most of the night. Unioto kind of imposed their will a little bit late. I really think, the difference in this game to me was Marcel James, Bryce Jarvis, Judah Zickenfuss, what they were able to do against the run, I thought was really impressive. But also Isaac Coy's maturation from the first half to the second half. First half, he goes 7 of 11, 52 yards, 2 picks. Second half, he goes 7 of 8 for 89 yards, 2 touchdowns. So that's such a big growth, and he ended up running for a season-high 31 yards and a touchdown. So that's a big growth for him. As only a sophomore, Cody Braden for Unioto, 15 carries, 123 yards, and a score. Also 6 catches for 33 yards for him as well. He does a lot of stuff for them. He had a sack as well. For, David Long, this was the most involved he's been. He had 3 carries for 12 yards for Unioto, 1 catch for 13 yards. Levi Beam, 1 carry for 18 yards. That was a big play. This is by far the most rush yards Unioto's had since week 1 when they were fully healthy, with a really good Ty Woods back there. So, and also Caden Cutright had one carry for 11 yards. But in the receiving game, Jackson Zickafoose had 4 catches, 55 yards, had the first touchdown of the second half for Unioto. A really nice catch as he went up and got one there. And then Caden Cutright had the go-ahead touchdown on really a long screen play. He picks up, makes a catch and goes 26 yards, beats a man to the corner, ultimately ends up being the deciding score. Blake Hoops had 2 catches, 14 yards. But going back to that defensive line, you also have Ben Griffin in there. Just covered a big fumble in that first half when it could have been all Zane Trace at that point. Luke Howard did a good job for him. Ian Spriggs. J.J. Smith, when he came in, did a good job. It's just it's a team that has a lot of depth, and that's a big advantage for them. Like Cody Braden doesn't have to play all the time on the defensive side of the ball, but he's able to come in and make a big sack for them as well. But Judah Zickafoose, 2 tackles for loss, an interception. Marcel James, Bryce Jarvis, Ben Griffin, and Cody Braden all had a sack as well. Also an interception for Jackson Zickafoose. So Unioto's defense makes a lot of stuff happen today as they force 3 turnovers and ultimately is the difference. For Zane Trace, Gunnar McCullough was 7 to 17 passing for 119 yards, a couple of interceptions. One was a deflection, one was just kind of a late 4th down play. He also ran the ball pretty well for them as well. Silas Stewart had 14 carries, 115 yards. The senior had 2 scores as well for the Pioneers. Bryce Johnson, 9 carries for 43 yards. Got a little banged up late. Hopefully he's able to be back and healthy by next week, or at the very least for week 10. Aiden Dunn had 2 interceptions defensively. I thought they did a pretty good job against the run of containing it from the big plays. I really like what the Brower brothers do for Zane Trace. Just overall, Hudson Williams, I was really impressed with defensively for Zane Trace tonight. And then also Mason Hartley and Jaden Higgins in the secondary. Cohen Larson made a couple plays for him as well. So, 2 good teams. It's going to be tough for Zane Trace. They got to win week 10 to make sure they get in the playoffs. But I think if they get the right matchup in the playoffs, there's a chance that good things can happen. Now, that's, avoiding an Ironton in week 11. But if you get there, anything can happen. But they still get a chance, possibility to win the league in week 10, which will be in Bainbridge for that one. So, yeah, it should be exciting. We appreciate anyone sticking with us tonight, as this was a grind.
A shaky night for the internet here at Zane Trace High School.
For everybody. So.
If you stuck around for the entirety of the stream, we appreciate your support, as well as the support from all of our fall sports live stream sponsors, the Gluckner family of dealerships, Parmar Stores, Willie & Son Trucking, Glow Fiber, the Schmidt Family Restaurant Group, and Tomlinson Insurance. Once again, the final tonight, Unioto out on top 28-14 as they head into their Week 9 battle with Paint Valley, undefeated in the SVC. That'll wrap it up for our coverage of Ohio high school football here tonight. For John Bruce, Dewey Daly, and Kenneth Hay, we say so long from Zane Trace High School. You've been watching Ohio high school football on Southern Ohio Sports Authority, presented by Ohio Health.